To be an effective SOC analyst, one has to know the associated fields like the IT infrastructure and IT security job roles. Let's learn about these various teams that SOC deals with through a story. In this story, we will start a company and learn how different IT teams will evolve. Let's assume we are starting an advertising or a media company, which deals with banner ads, hoardings, brochures, etc. Every company, irrespective of the domain they operate in, need computers these days. So we will buy two computers to start with. We will have the necessary applications like Photoshop, CorelDRAW, After Effects installed. We might need a printer, so let's purchase one. Obviously, we would need internet, so we get the internet service through a ISP, Internet Service Provider. Please note that I will only be talking about wired network here. It will make the story and the learning easy. So far, we have 2 employees and around 4 IT assets. At this point in time, we will be faced with one challenge, that is, who will take care of computer related problems. Remember, we are an ad agency. We are creative people. We know design. We know how to work on Photoshop and other creative applications. But we do not know how to fix computer problems. It doesn't make sense to hire a dedicated person as we are a small company and we might not have that many computer issues. So, we will go for something called AMC, Annual Maintenance Contract. According to this contract, the vendor who supplied the computers will help us in case we have any technical issues with our computers and other IT assets. There will be some time limits set to resolve the issues that we might encounter. Like all software related issues will be fixed within 24 hours and hardware issues will be fixed within 3 days. We call this as Service Level Agreement, SLA. For this service, the vendor will charge us around $10,000 annually. Things are going good, the company is growing, we are getting more clients and more projects. 1 year passes by, we have hired more people now. There are different departments in the company like design team, sales team, finance team, HR team, etc. Our network that started with 2 computers and a printer now has around 30 systems. There are some network devices to connect all of them together. This is how our network looks now. And for technical challenges with computers, we are still relying on the vendor with the AMC. But the cost has gone up. Because we have more systems now, there are more issues and we are bothering the vendor more than before. Hence, he has also increased the charges to $40,000 annually. At this point, we might feel that we are actually paying more to the vendor to provide the support and also he takes his own sweet time to resolve the issues. So we will decide to add a few more thousands and hire an expert who is good with computers. We call this new employee as system engineer, or a more popular term is IT guy. This person takes care of all the IT needs like replacing a faulty keyboard to fixing internet issues and computer slowness complaints, etc. Another year passes by and we are now 200 employees and our digital assets are now grown to 350. At some point, we need an HRMS application to track all our employee details. HRMS stands for Human Resource Management System. So we put a HRMS server. We did the same when we needed to track all our customer details using a CRM. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. We also needed a file server to transfer large files between employees. And recently, we have also deployed an email server to send emails from our own custom domain. Because of all these additional computers, servers, and other digital asset, the network is getting more and more complex. The system engineer was somehow taking care of the network design too, but the company is outgrowing his networking skills. So we decide to hire a network engineer. If you ask, why can't the system engineer take care of network too? After all, they are both computer related. For an outsider, it might look like they are same, but there is a lot of skill set difference between the two. When the network is small, the system engineer can handle it with his limited networking skills. But when it gets bigger and complex, we need a dedicated network engineer. Let me give an example. When you hire a driver to drive your car, you expect him to know the basic mechanic work like changing tires, checking engine temperature, etc. But you will need an expert mechanic when there is some issue with your engine. Okay, so far so good. Company is doing great. We have won several creative awards for our ads. We have now ventured into videos, ad making. We have got great deals from several big brands. One such big project that we are currently working on is with Mercedes Benz. They are introducing a new model and we have been tasked with creating some ads for the same. And we are supposed to deliver the video ad in next 1 month. The team has done the shoot, the ad is undergoing final touch up in the post production, and we are all getting ready to celebrate the project closure. When all this is going on one side, on the other end, one of our employee in the finance team has received an email with a payment invoice. When the person opens the file, nothing happens for a while and then the computer hangs. On informing this to system engineer, we realized that we have been hit by a malware. And this one is a ransomware. Ransomware is a type of malware that locks up the computer and demand ransom in the form of wire transfer or bitcoins in order to unlock the system. Without anybody's knowledge, the malware has spread through our network and has rendered all the machine useless. Months of efforts put into making the ad has gone in vain. Now we keep wondering, how did this happen? And why did this happen? Because we also made the same mistake most of the small to medium sized businesses do. We thought we are just an ad agency who would attack us. We are just a small company who would target us with a cyber attack. But it happened and we learned our lessons the hard way. So we decided to install antivirus. And in order to configure and implement the antivirus in all the system, we hired an endpoint security expert. Similarly, we also implement several solutions to protect our network like firewall, intrusion prevention system, web gateway, email gateway, etc. And to implement them effectively, we have hired a network security engineer. As informed in the introductory video, do not break your head in understanding how these various security solutions protect the network. Just follow the story and you will be good. But if you are wondering what is the difference between endpoint security and network security, let me help you understand it with an example. Consider an apartment complex. The security will be implemented in several ways. We have the security guard, gates, and compound wall, which will protect the entire apartment complex. And then we have locks to secure all the individual houses. Here, the security guard, gates, and wall can be compared to network security, and the security for individual houses can be considered as endpoint security. Note that endpoint security is also referred to as host security. Okay, back to our story. Our company has continued to grow. After 5 years of starting the company, we are now a 400 people company and have more than 700 digital assets. We have distributed geographically and have one office in New York in USA and another one in Bengaluru, India. The two offices are connected over the internet via VPN tunnel. But one thing is still bothering the company. The attacks continued to happen. When checked on the reasons for these attacks, most of them happen because of configurations mistakes or use of old or vulnerable software and human error. To tackle these kind of challenges, we hired another expert for the role of information security engineer. The responsibility of this InfoSec role is to conduct regular audits, draft security policies, conduct user awareness trainings, and ensure adherence to regulatory compliances. After doing all these, unfortunately, attacks continued to happen. It was learned that the audits were not enough. Let's consider an example where a company runs a quarterly audit. So, our audit is completed in last week of March. Later, in the early April, one of the admin makes a configuration mistake. This mistake will only be identified in next audit, which is scheduled to happen by end of June. So we leave this weak configuration as it is for 2 months, which can be taken advantage by an hacker. This led to the realization that continuous monitoring of network was essential. This was achieved by introducing the Security Operations Center team. I know you're all excited to learn about what happens in the SOC. Hold that for a few minutes while we complete this lesson on how IT evolves in a company. Do you remember the HRMS and the CRM application that we had developed in our network to maintain employee and client details? These applications were developed by an outside IT company. After so many years, the outsourcing cost is going high because of all the frequent changes in the application and also the maintenance. So, in order to reduce the cost, we decide to build these applications in-house. Such type of applications built to our needs are called homegrown applications. So now we need application developers too. Both HRMS and CRM store a lot of data, which will be put into database. In fact, most of the application use a database in the backend. So we might need experts to work on database too. So we will hire a database engineer. Because of all the digital dependency, there are so many IT teams in the company now. If a person in logistic team has an issue with his computer, he will not be sure if it has to be addressed by system engineering team, network engineer, or it is a security related issue. So in order to make this decision easy for all employees, we will put a help desk team, which acts as a primary point of contact for all IT related issues and queries. Wow, we have come a long way. Let's look back at our journey. We are a media company, not an IT company at all. But we now use more than 1000 computer assets and have so many IT teams to support our business. It is important to note that these teams do not generate the direct revenue because for an ad agency like ours, it's the sales team and the creative team that generate revenue. But these teams cannot function without information technology. So indirectly, IT is contributing to the revenue. This lesson helped us in understanding how even a non-IT company ends up with so many computers and related assets and the different people who administer them. In the next lesson, we will take a closer look at few of these IT infrastructure teams.